around long-term effects, basically.
Yeah. Well, we don't really know, because have we been
exactly.
none
of us have lived long enough.
No, exactly.
Mr. Chair, we're live stream now. Thank you.
Okay,
thank you. Okay, Madam Secretary, how are we going?
Yes, we've got everyone there, sir. We're ready to go. Thank you.
Yeah, looked like a full cast to me. Okay. We'll get moving then. It's my pleasure to declare District Planning 22/2 open and welcome you all along. Firstly, to remind you all that the meeting is being live streamed via Zoom and operating under the current COVID restrictions. So we have a full cast of committee members, so we have no apologies, and we have a host of people there to support us by the look of it. So are there any declarations of interest? I don't imagine there is, but I'm required to ask that question. Seems no. All right. Just to remind you, the purpose of this meeting is not for a hearing. It is to appoint the commissioner as required and outlined in the agenda. So we just have the one report that relates to the appointment of this commissioner. And so, Anna, are you there? Would you like to speak to that report?
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I just have the report here that is for the stormwater upgrade works, which was within the ecological feature at Bowen Town. It's just a small area that's actually within the feature that required the resource consent. Resource consent wasn't required for the main part of the stormwater upgrade work. And if you have questions around that work, Coralie is also here to answer questions around that work. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you for that. So, yes, I do have a question. I wonder if Coralie, perhaps if you could outline briefly the nature of the works so that the committee is aware. And then I've also been asked about why it hasn't been notified, and we could perhaps go back to you, Anna, and have a brief explanation around that, please. So, Coralie.
Yep, so the work is to help improve the stormwater network in PO Shores. As the councillors are probably aware, we've had ongoing flooding issues out there. We've been working with the PO Shores Ratepayers Association for a number of years now and had funding in the long-term plan to look at the best solutions for stormwater improvements. And this option came up as sort of the top ranked one, is providing some long-term benefits. So it includes upgrading two of the pump stations. And when we started to get into the nitty-gritty of upgrading the pump stations, we discovered that the pipes leading into the dunes, which takes the stormwater from the low-lying floodable land up into the dunes, were also undersized. So we need to upgrade the rising main from the pump station that pumps into the dunes as well.
Okay, thank you for that. So back to you, Anna, if we could just have a brief explanation of the assessment and why non-notified was decided appropriate.
Sure, no problem. The consent itself, because it's only a small part of the total work that is within the ecological feature, is what triggered the need for a resource consent. There is a small area. I can share my screen to show you the plan of work that needed to be, the vegetation needed to be removed to allow the work to go ahead. and that is a restricted discretionary activity. So they provided an assessment and a landscape ecological report that went with the application that showed the vegetation that they would replant to rehabilitate the area following the work, and that's why we deemed that there was less than minor effects and why it did not need to be notified.
Great, thank you for the explanation. Do we have any other questions? I'm not seeing any hands, so I'm assuming
Yes, Sue, sorry.
there is. I'm not looking at the right place, am I?
And you need to unmute. Thank you.
Oh, I was just panicking. I didn't think I was going to get a chance to say anything.
Yeah.
The way I understand it, Anna, is that I think the residents there that will be affected, no. Is that correct?
No.
The area of work is not within the residential area, it's within the dune area, so it's not affecting any of the local residents in that sense. The work that Coralie is undertaking, she would have, I'm assuming, it been in quite a lot of consultation with those residents around her work, and that's within the residential area.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. They know a lot about it. I see Chris is listening in there. Why was the marae going through the Māori land not considered as taking away the stormwater from that area? And
So-
is it true that the council are footing the bill for all of this?
So yes, so the project is funded in the long-term plan and funded by council. In terms of the marae, so the marae, the drain that runs through the marae is still a very important drain for draining that area. The catchment's almost split up into two. So we also have a separate project in the long-term plan to work with the marae to upgrade the drain as well. So it's not a either or, it's a do both and you'll get a bigger, wider benefit.
And we're still going with the model of pumping it out into the dunes as a holding bay in 3 places.
Yes, that's correct.
And nobody even seems worried about that, the stability of the dunes, being that that's one of the smallest, thinnest part of the sandbar.
So we've done a lot of testing and monitoring and investigations on the dunes over the last couple of years. In particular, we've been monitoring them for a long time, but in the last couple of years, we've done a lot more investigation to make sure that the dunes can cope with the stormwater, and all the engineering assessments have come back as being positive and that there's no risk there to the dunes.
Well, I'll hold reserve on that, my opinion on that. Thank you.
All right, I don't see any more hands up. So we have someone ready to move the recommendations.
Yes, happy to do so.
Thank you, Councillor Murray-Benj. We have a seconder. I'll second it. Oh, Monique, sorry, missed that. Good one. Thank you. So move Councillor Murray-Benj, seconded Councillor Gray. All those in favour, please raise your right hand. Okay.
Can I say I'm against this?
Yes, you can. So
You'd like your vote against recorded, Councillor Gray? Sorry?
Most certainly.
Councillor Henry.
Sorry, Councillor Henry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool. All right. So that brings us to the end of the meeting, and I declare the meeting closed, and you can all go away and rejoin Zoom for the